This is the first guest interview for Common Sense Gender Network, with our friend Tay. This does not necessarily match the views of the network, nor does the general views of the creator of this channel match Tay's. First question, who are you, and how would you define yourself?
Hey, my name is Tay, and I'm a Cissy, spelled with a C. Cissy means that you are a cisgendered boy, and, but, you may be effeminate or different than the masculine stereotypes, and so therefore you are a Cissy. I am a homosexual gay male. I was born as a boy with a penis, and but I also identify as queer, and I am, I feel like that is very important to me, but at the same time I do identify just as a gay boy as well, and I feel like there are benefits to both of them.
How do you define queer?
For me, queer basically means non-binary gender identification. I used to identify as gender fluid, which means that sometimes I felt more effeminate, although I don't think that I ever have identified as a transgendered person. I've never had thoughts of transitioning into being a woman.
Do you ever feel like the queer label is restrictive?
I've had to question being queer sometimes because I specifically like or am sexually attracted and just emotionally attracted to other male-bodied, um, to other gay boys. That's which is one of the and also like feeling like I'm not queer if I am not open-minded enough to be attracted to female-bodied people. My body is of a boy, and I like people that have, male, the sex features on their body. That's what I'm into.
You said you considered yourself non-binary. Was that different to being trans?
I have never identified as a trans person, and I feel like having empathy and understanding and compassion for what their identity is like, I don't feel like it would be right for me to also identify as trans because I'm not, I'm not trying to switch my gender. I'm trying to break down the stereotypes of gender. But that does not make me a trans person. And I think that there's a lot of people who really take advantage of the identity situation, and I understand that some people, like, the only way that I can think about it is that somebody would um, assume benefit from changing. I've had a lot of friends that have changed their genders multiple times and sort of gone with the trends of what they feel is popular, and maybe they don't even notice it, but they're just trying to do it to fit in. Um, but I really feel, those are also the people that are, they're so insecure in themselves that they have to go after other people who are literally just being themselves, who are not part of their group, and because they are uncomfortable with their ability to make up their mind on what they are as a person. But for me, being queer means that you don't have to identify as such, hence being non-binary, and so there is not really any point to doing that. But at the same time, I, have always been myself, and I take influences and style off of other people, but I don't change my gender. Some people do it, and I think that it's completely okay to do. Like, obviously, it's a lifelong journey that we're all on to explore who we are, whether it be like career path or gender or, finding that group of people or that art that we really resonate with, but to use that um, to be part of a group, uh, even though that's not really who you are, I feel is um, very disrespectful and sort of, uh, you know, doesn't, it's not true. It's not. What's the word that I want to say? It's just, you know, I don't know, maybe people don't know what they are and they're just really hella confused and that's their thing, but, I think that it's pretty fucking lame.
If you don't know what you are, why don't you go by your genitals?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you don't know what you are, why don't you just go by that? I think that uh, that whatever genitals you have, you can, be the person that you want to be. We live in America, you know. There's been way worse places to be, and you know, and time periods where we're not allowed to be ourselves, and you know, maybe that's like, I feel like some people look at me like that's a privilege to have. Like, I have the privilege to be myself, and, other, I don't know if it's because I'm a boy or if it's because I'm Asian or like maybe it's because I'm a sissy. I don't know.
Have you ever felt judged for being too cis?
Being somewhere and literally not feeling like queer enough, that's one thing that is really made me super uncomfortable. And then it comes down to like the way that you look, and then it's the way that you act, and then it's your beliefs, and it's the things that you like, or like your interests. And like right now, I'm sort of like trying to grow my hair out, and I have this weird haircut, and it's in its middle stages, and I just can't like being in, I'm doing my boy thing right now, and I feel like it's sad that some people think that it's inappropriate to do that and that I'm not cool enough because I show up at the party and I look like a boy. I don't look as androgynous as I used to, and I'm not, but I'm still wearing women's clothes all the time, and, you know, uh, I feel like I definitely used to style myself more to be a super androgynous person, mainly because that I had, a cool funky haircut and I could, that worked well with me physically, but right now I am doing something different because I have this, like I have a boy haircut. And I am embracing that that is what looks good, is pulling out my boy drag every day. And so I guess like if somebody asks me, normally my mindset would be, you know, if you feel like I am a girl, then you are more than welcome to call me a she. And if you feel like I am a boy, then you can call me a he. Or if you feel like it's respectful to call me a she, then call me a she or a they or whatever you want, It's never bugged me. But I feel in the past I have been more queer looking, and I feel like people don't treat me the same way when I go to a queer party, like they I feel like I get treated like I don't understand queer philosophy and queer politics and what being queer is all about, and I actually feel like I have a deeper understanding of it because I've gone, I've thought about it on my own time and made my own opinions, and uh, also, like, I like to see things like being queer as positive, you know, like for me there's no point to make anything negative about not being queer. I think that being queer should be something that helps everybody, you know, give everybody a little bit of freedom in their identity and like comfort that whatever they are is okay. And so for me to go out to a place that is queer when I know that I'm queer and have people treat me like I am not part of the family is really bothersome. It's really annoying.
What type of person seems to judge you the most at queer parties?
It seems like a lot of the people that I'm recognizing that are, you know, uh, judging me for presenting myself as male are feminists, now that I think about it.
Do you wish it would be more acceptable in the queer community to be a gay man again?
Well, I definitely think that it's cool to be a gay man. I think that it's cool to be a gay man. I think that if you're queer, then you should be cool with however people identify as long as they are chill, you know? Like, we're living in a society where people really like to put labels on each other, and that's really the reason why I felt like queer politics were really, or would it be queer politics? Like, that queer ideology was a really important thing for our society, but I'm finding that uh, a lot of queer people are the ones that are really um, placing the judgments on other people without really, you know, like putting people in a group and placing judgments, you know. It's sort of, I believe it's sort of natural human instinct to be part of a group, and it doesn't really help uh, to add more or to be discriminate towards other groups just because they are different than you and because you feel like, you know, everybody should be queer. Well, you know, that's not the, you know, like, that's just not going to happen.
Are there any benefits to having your identity in queer culture?
I feel like being Asian and sort of having, you know, what do they call it? Whatever, having multiple, uh, being a multiple minority, or um, I have definitely felt the ability to slide past um, a lot of uh, just like slide past or just, you know, I'm not sure if it's me getting pushed to the side or it's sort of like it's sort of like getting pushed to the side but also being like held up in the air a little bit. Like I don't have to worry about doing something super like offensive to somebody because um, I am, you know, already a gay, queer, like non-binary, like like I'm a queer person of color, like whatever people call it nowadays. I am, you know, so people don't, I don't know if it's like they don't take what I say personally or they're really just like not listening to it. In some ways, I feel like it's a privilege because I can get away with certain things that some of my friends can't. And in another way, I feel like a little bit pushed to the side because my opinions don't have as much of an impact on somebody because they are not able to attack me for my race or my for my race or my gender or, not being queer enough or my identity in general.
It sounds like you aren't positive that you want to be a huge part of the feminist lesbian community.
Or maybe I am not, you know, or maybe I'm not called into that group fully because I do not share all the same viewpoints as they do um, because I do have, because I do have people that, I do have close friends that are people that they go after for their identity who um, I feel are actually more fair, more like open minded, non judgmental people than they are. I don't know.
Thanks, Tay. We hope to have you back sometime in the future.